Hi everybody, Johnny here. I hope you're doing great today. You can find more good math at jmathpage.com. Today we're thinking about multiplying 8's. And we're going to think about multiplying 8's using groups. I'm sure you've seen these before. 1 times 8, 2 times 8, 3 times 8, 4 times 8, 5 times 8, 6 times 8, 7 times 8, and 8 times 8, 9 times 8, and 10 times 8. Now, these may be familiar to you, but today we want to think about them in terms of groups. And right now I want to know what that means. So if I think about 1 times 8, I can think of that in terms of groups this way. One group of 8. So I could write that down. One group of 8. And 2 times 8 can be 2 groups of 8. 2 groups of 8. 3 times 8, 3 groups of 8. 3 groups of 8. 4 times 8, 4 groups of 8. 4 groups of 8. 5 times 8, 5 groups of 8. 5 groups of 8. 6 times 8, 6 groups of 8. 6 groups of 8. 7 times 8, 7 groups of 8. 7 groups of 8. 8 times 8, 8 groups of 8. 8 groups of 8. 9 times 8, 9 groups of 8. 9 groups of 8. And 10 times 8, 10 groups of 8. 10 groups of 8. Okay, so I understand groups a little bit better now, but I'm still not quite sure how they help us with these number sentences. I think maybe we need a little help with a picture. So let's make a picture of each of these. Let's start here. One group of 8 could look like just one group of 8. 2 groups of 8 could be one group of 8, another group of 8. 3 groups of 8. 1, 2, 3. 4 groups of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 8. 5 groups of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 8. 6 groups of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 groups of 8. 7 groups of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups of 8. 8 groups of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, a little mistake there. 6, 7, 8. 8 groups of 8. And what about 9 groups of 8? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Fix that one too. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And 10 groups of 8. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Now we have all of our groups. Now how does that help us? Well, we need to think a little bit more about this. So let's try this. If we go up here and we say 1 times 8 is one group of 8, I see my 8 here. I can count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know that one group of 8 is the same as 8, or one group of 8 makes 8. I could also say 1 times 8 equals 8. What about this next one? 2 times 8, two groups of 8. Well, I see my 8 here and my 8 here. I can count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Or I could count them on 8 and 8 make 16. So I know that altogether, two groups of 8 make 16. I could also say 2 times 8 equals 16. What about 3 times 8? Three groups of 8. Well, I have 8 and 8 and 8. So I'm going to count by 8s. 8, 16, 16 and 8 more make 24. So I know that all together, three groups of 8 make 24. Or 3 times 8 equals 24. What about 4 times 8? Four groups of 8. Let's count by 8s this time. 8, 16, 24, and 8 more, they make 32. So all together, four groups of 8 make 32, or 4 times 8 equals 32. What about 5 times 8? Five groups of 8. All right, 8, 16, 24, 32, and 8 more make 40. So all together, 5 groups of 8 make 40, or 5 times 8 equals 40. What about 6 times 8? Six groups of 8. Let's count by 8s again. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and 8 more make 48. So what does that tell us? That altogether, 6 groups of 8 make 48. Or 6 times 8 equals 48. 7 times 8, or 7 groups of 8, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, and 8 more give us 56. So that tells us that altogether, 7 groups of 8 make 56. So 7 times 8 equals 56. What about 8 times 8? 8 groups of 8. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, and 8 more make 64. So that tells us that altogether, 8 groups of 8 make 64. Or that 8 times 8 equals 64. What about 9 times 8? 9 groups of 8. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72. So that tells us that 9 times 8, or 9 groups of 8, altogether make 72. So 9 times 8 equals 72. What about 10 times 8? 10 groups of 8. Let's count them out. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, and 8 more makes 80. That tells us that altogether 10 groups of 8 make 80. Or that 10 times 8 equals 80. Let's look back at this for a moment. We started off by wondering what groups were, and we said that when you look at a sentence like this, you can think of one group of 8, two groups of 8, three groups of 8. Then we said, well, what does that look like? We drew out pictures for each one of them, and if we said 2 groups of 8, we made 2 groups of 8. If we said 3 groups of 8, we made pictures of 3 groups of 8. Then we counted them out. 3 groups of 8 is the same as 8 and 8 and 8 more, and we found that to be 24. We can say 3 groups of 8 make 24, or 3 times 8 equals 24. I hope this grouping has been helpful to you. This is one way to think about multiplication. I hope it's been useful.